With the first week of free agency completely in the books for the Chicago Bears, I want to do my first post-free agency mock draft for this team, going complete all the Chicago Bears picks all the way down to round 7. I think I've completed a pretty nice, well-rounded mock draft here. We're going to get into all that and more right after this. What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content today, y'all. And I want to give a mock draft, the first post-free agency mock draft on the channel. And I think what Ryan Poles did here, he's already shored up a couple of positions, right? But the Bears have a number of positions that they still have to address. And I think the draft is going to be very defensive heavy. There are going to be some offensive players here on my board, but it's going to be very, very defense focused and heavy. He's going to have to take care of Dennis Allen in this year's draft. So I want to go ahead and get into that, right? So I know that a lot of people are looking at edge, right? And like I talked about, if you guys watched yesterday's live stream on the channel, I talked about the fact that every year, except for the year that we drafted Caleb Williams, Ryan Poles has gone an unexpected position at number, or I'll say this, or a position that most people didn't expect to be addressed first on the board. You look at his first draft, many people thought the Bears were going to go wide receiver. George Pickens was on the board. We went cornerback with Kyler Gordon, then safety with Jaquan Brisker, and we went wide receiver later on with Velus Jones, right? Then you look at his second draft that he drafted as well. That's where we went Darnell Wright, right? So we went that aspect of it and moved out of that. Then you look at the Caleb Williams draft. That's where we went the board with Caleb Williams draft. And then even last year, most people did not expect the Bears to go tight end, but even for the people that did have a tight end mock to the Chicago Bears, we actually went a completely different route. We went Colston Loveland, which ended up working out. And so we know that Ryan Poles is not against going against kind of the grain and what's expected for where he's expected to go with a lot of with his first round draft pick. Now, most people are going to expect edge, but I have the Chicago Bears here at round 1, pick number 25, drafting Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety out of Toledo. I think this guy not only fits with Kobe Bryant, I think he's a perfect replacement for Jaquan Brisker. I think that he's a guy as well that while it's not the Bears' biggest need on defense, it is a need. You do need a starting caliber center. And Emmanuel McNeil-Warren out of Toledo, 6'2", 210 pounds. This guy that had 33 solo tackles last year, 3 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 6 passes deflected as well. 77 total tackles in that. You look at it, he's had 13 total pass deflected over his collegiate career, which is 4 years, and 8 forced fumbles and 5 interceptions. This guy is a monster. I think he'll fit perfectly in Dennis Allen's system. I think he still brings that same dynamic we had with Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker, where you can play one inside the box, one outside the box, and flex back and forth between the other two. I love finding this safety here at the first pick of the draft. I like this guy a lot. I think he makes a lot of sense for the Chicago Bears. So McNeil-Warren is a guy that I hope that the Bears draft. I would not be surprised if they completely take care of their secondary. You won't have to worry about your secondary for a few years if you do that. Next up, in round 2, the first pick in round 2, I still do not have the Chicago Bears going edge. I have them drafting Sam Hecht, the safety out of Kansas State, with round 2 with pick 57. We know with Drew Dalman's retirement, it threw a little bit of a loop for the Chicago Bears. And while they do have Bradbury in here, who I think is going to be a perfectly fine starting caliber center for a while there, I think that you have the chance to get your center of the future here in this draft. And Sam Hecht is the guy that I would not mind. The Bears already went to his pro day. They've already scouted him, which means that there is a level of interest there. There's no starting caliber centers in the first round, but there are a lot in the second round. Sam Hecht could be a guy that I think the Bears go here in round 2, and I would not be surprised at all. Now, the second pick in round 2, which is pick 60, which is only 3 picks after the Bears' first pick in the second round, I have them going after Gabe Jacas, the edge out of Illinois. This is a guy, senior, 6'3", 275 pounds. We've recruited out of the Senior Bowl before. I talked about him coming out of that game as well for the Chicago Bears. You look at him, 11 sacks last year. Now, one of the questions there are, of course, when a player has that level of production in their final year, is it because of the growth and refinement, or is it just a blip? But when you look at it, he had 4 sacks each of his first 2 years in college in Illinois, 8 sacks the third year, and 11 sacks last year, 27 total sacks over his 4-year collegiate career, with 7 forced fumble over his career as well, and 2 passes deflected. This is a guy that's an athlete. He brings a lot of the size that we know that Dennis Allen likes there at the edge position, which I think is a big fit there. This is a guy who's a pass rusher and that he can attack on the edge. You can also use him a little bit on the inside as well, but they probably want to focus him as development on the edge. But when you look at this, I think that this guy has everything, and he's kind of what you wanted out of Dayo Odeyingbo, but he never brought. Bringing the guy that has the size, just the sheer size of him could keep other teams from being able to double Montez Sweat as much. And if you already have Austin Booker there who's looking like he's going to take a leap, I think that shores up your edge position pretty damn well. So Gabe Jacas, I have coming here to the Chicago Bears, the second second round pick at pick 60. I like this guy a lot. I think he fits it. I think he has that really good force. And then you look at it in the future. Austin Booker's a more skilled guy. He has all the moves, a little bit smaller, so you have the kind of combination there. And as long as you have all three, you have Booker there, you have Montez Sweat, and you have Jacas. You have a nice combination of different looks that you can throw out depending. And like I said, you can move Jacas to the interior some as well on some plays. I like that as well. But then I have the Bears going left tackle. They have the Bears going, I see IOT, another edge. That's LT Overland, the edge out of Alabama with their third round pick. Now, some may say, Haize, if you see a leap coming from Austin Booker, why would you have the Bears drafting 2 edges? And the reason why I say that is, listen, you could get into the situation in the future where either Montez Sweat doesn't re-sign, or you may need to trade Montez Sweat for something else depending on how the money is going to go. LT Overland in Alabama, 6'5", 278 pounds, another big body that Dennis Allen likes there. He had 7 sacks over his collegiate career, 103 total tackles over 4 years, 2 with Texas A&M, 2 with Alabama. I like this guy's motor. I like the size that he has there as well. And I think overall, he helps improve the run defense quite considerably as well. He can do that in the edge. You may even be able to play him a little bit on the interior as well. And it's about versatility. That's really what it seems like they're focusing on with Dennis Allen's defense, is having versatility all up and down the field. And Overton is a guy that can help with that. So LT Overland, another guy, I think in round 3, you draft another edge, shore up that position as a whole. Now let's move on to round 4. Pick 129 for the Chicago Bears. This is where I have the Bears going linebacker. Lander Barton, the linebacker out of Utah, is a guy. We need another linebacker. I know we brought in Devin Bush. We have him there. We still have TJ Edwards there as well. We'll see what some other guys can bring also there. But I like Lander Barton here. 6'5", 236 pounds, is a guy that has some legitimate size and speed that he can come around the outside with as well. He had 207 tackles his 4 years at Utah, 8 passes deflected, 8 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 5 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. When you talk about a playmaker, that's what this guy is. Lander Barton is a playmaker. And he excels in pass coverage, which is really good. Again, versatility for Dennis Allen's defense, being able to drop players back in coverage. Now, his weakness is a little bit of in the run game. So, that may keep the Bears from maybe going after him, but I think he has the speed. I think the coaching staff can look to really utilize him in a lot of unique and different ways. So I like him a lot here, and I think that it makes a lot of sense for the Chicago Bears to bring a guy like him in here to continue working out. They could develop him as well. I don't know how much of an impact he's going to make day one for the Chicago Bears, for example, but he is a guy that I think, you look at how we've worked Jack Sanborn, even how Noah Sewell at the start of the season looked, I think that Dennis Allen and the defense can do wonders for this guy. I like him a whole lot here. He can learn behind DeMarco Jackson. You got him re-signed here, and especially with TJ Edwards maybe being a little bit injured at the start of the season, it could work him in to get a little bit more. Now, we still have a rookie from last year, Ruben Hippolyte, that didn't get a lot of opportunity either, so keep a lookout for that. That maybe could keep the Bears from going linebacker, but I think you attack the depth. Again, depth is important, and he's one of the best guys that I think will be available there in round 4. Now, we don't have another pick. After that pick in round 4, we do not have another pick until round 7 where we have 2 picks. And I have the Bears finally going wide receiver here with Zavion Thomas, the wide receiver out of LSU. You need speed, 5'10", 192 pounds. And I think this is a shot where the Bears can take a shot. They lost Devin Duvernay. They lost Olamide Zaccheaus. Yeah, we have Jahade Walker still here, but hey, you can take a shot on this guy and see what he can bring. I also think that he can factor in for you as well on special teams as well and work with Khalif Raymond in that area. So, I think Khalif Raymond is going to be the top return specialist for the Bears, no doubt about it. But Xavier Thomas has a chance to make an impact there while also bringing speed to be able to use some out there in the slot, take some pressure off some other guys in some unique situations. He doesn't really have the drop problem as some of the other speed guys we've gone after in prior years, which is why I like him. You look at last year, 4 touchdowns, had an average of 11.9 yards per reception in that for 488 yards over the course of his 4-year collegiate career, which is freshman year in 2022, he barely played. But 1,213 yards, 7 touchdowns, an average of 11 yards per reception as well. And I think as a slot, you can do a lot worse than him. So I like him a lot here for the Chicago Bears. And then lastly, a position that doesn't necessarily need depth, but you can take a shot here in round 2. In round 7, that's Lorenzo Styles, the senior out of Ohio State. I know. I'm an OSU guy. People are going to say, Haize, why you and your you always got to try to push an OSU guy. But I think you're looking for steals in round 7. And I think that what you can do there, Lorenzo Styles can be a safety. He can be a cornerback. He can be a lot of stuff for you. And so because of that, right, and because of the way that the Bears, and we already know Dennis Allen likes those versatile guys, I think this is a guy that's made big plays in college. He's a guy that can come in, play multiple positions for the Chicago Bears. He can basically be this year's version of Zay Frazier. Maybe he stays on the practice squad. He played 2 years at OSU. There's not a lot of tape on this guy, but I do think if you're going for kind of upside, 6'1", 195 pounds, can play corner, can play safety, I think that it's a guy willing to take a shot on. That I would be willing to take a shot on, I should say. So that's my 7th-round mock draft for the Chicago Bears. A very defensive focus, only got them basically drafting 2 offensive players in there, but they're all positions of need for the Bears and all guys that I think can make impact in varying degrees, maybe in their rookie years. But let me know what you guys think on that down below. That's going to wrap up my mock draft. 7 picks. We'll see what we do here for the Chicago Bears and what the Bears do in the draft. The other guys will be dropping their mocks over the course of this week, so stay in tune with us. But I want to hear from you guys. If Ryan Poles does not go edge in the first round, how shocked would you be by that? Make sure you guys are following us at Chi Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.